What is going on, everybody? Welcome into the Wager Alarm live stream. I'm Howard Bender. With me, of course, Craig Mish. It's Friday night, baby. Friday night. You know what that's all about. It's all about making our picks for the Golden Nugget Ultimate Football Challenge and for the Westgate Supercontest. We are 9-5 in the Nugget. We are 6-4 in the Supercontest. And Craig, I think we're feeling pretty good about tonight, huh?
Well, congratulations. 2 really good weeks of the football season, both in college and pro. This is a really, really, really hard thing to do. This is the most difficult contest to be in, which is the Super Contest. And look, we also do the Golden Nugget, which provides us a chance to give you guys some college picks. Those are off to a really good start as well. We obviously know not every week is going to be positive, but we are staying positive 2 weeks in. I am feeling good about this week. I feel like we're seeing things the right way. The first 2 weeks of the season have been upside down for a lot of bettors. The Super Contest went 0-5 with their top 5 picks last week, and here we are doing well. So I feel like we're off to a much better start than we were last season. So let's keep it going.
Let's keep it rolling. All right, let's start off with our picks for the Golden Nugget Ultimate Football Challenge. Once again, Craig and I are going to go with 4 games for college, 3 for the NFL. It worked nicely for us, and hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So, Craig, let's start it off here. First game that we're taking, San Jose State at Western Michigan. We are taking Western Michigan. We are laying the 3 points. Big road game here for San Jose State, and I got to tell you, man, the early start is what gets me going here for Western Michigan. Like, it's going to start noon local time there. It's like 9 a.m. for our good friends in San Jose State. I like taking Western Michigan in this one.
Yeah, that's going to be a theme for today. The other theme that you will see is this is a week where we have focused a lot on the small schools. We really didn't focus that much in the first 2 weeks of the season. But, that's where we're at. There's a lot of huge lines, if you've noticed this week, and there's not really a lot of top 25 matchups that are juicy and interesting. So you're going to notice a lot of small schools and a lot of narratives based on, sometimes it's weather, sometimes it's timing of the game, sometimes it's bye weeks, and that will factor into way too much research for me this week. But look, we're trying to make money off this. We got to do. I got to dive in. Got to read a lot about the games. I read so much this week. There was actually a couple extra picks. I probably could have gone a little deeper with college this week, but feel good with the 4. So look, San Jose State coming off the really good year that they had is not the same team. I don't think that they are that they were last year or the year before. Western Michigan, always a really good team at home, 7-3 against the spread last 10. They did beat Pittsburgh, which is a Power 5 team last week. Okay, so, Pittsburgh's not good, but that's somewhat impressive for a team like Western Michigan to win that. San Jose State, their calling card this season, they've played a lot of really close games, and they've done a really good job in the red zone. To me, 30% scoring in terms of touchdowns in the red zone, I don't know. I guess college football teams and pro football teams will tell you that's a skill of stopping teams from scoring touchdowns in the red zone. I mean, some of that to me is a little bit of luck also. Like, I could see a player dropping a pass. Now, I didn't go back and watch film of what San Jose State's defense did in those 10 times to only allow 3 touchdowns, but I think that does even out a little bit. So I think that seeing Western Michigan, going back and looking at their schedule, I was wondering why the line was 3, and I tried to say, okay, well, maybe I'm missing something here. I don't think so. I think that this is just a better team. It could end up being a close game. But the only team that Western Michigan has looked really bad in was the game against Michigan. And look, when Michigan's going to play against those smaller teams, there's somewhat of recruiting battles too. Kids are looking at which school to go to. Everyone's going to pick Michigan. They can't look bad against Western Michigan. So don't ever look at those in-state big team versus small team deals and think that the other team's not going to blow them out. They will. They got to get the recruiting going. Alabama going against Southern Mississippi is another example of that. I think Alabama's, not going to lay down. Last week their defense did against Florida. So we'll take Western Michigan. Long story short, -3. Again, a lot of small school interest for me this week, and this will be one of 2 favorites that we will take on the college slate.
All right, let's flip it over. 2 weeks ago, taking Utah against BYU didn't work out for us. So, hey, let's take Utah State. How about this one here? Utah State, 3-0. They're at home. They're a 9-point dog to Boise State. To me, like Boise State is all about the run. I do a spot every week on KTIK in Boise,
Hmm.
and so we sit and we talk Boise State, college football a bunch. It's a run centric team, so I'm looking at a 3-0 team at home getting 9 points against teams that a team that loves to run. And when you run the ball that heavily, those games tend to stay a little on the closer side. So I like the fact that we're on the Utah State side here, getting 9 points.
Yeah, early game for both teams playing at noon Pacific or 9 a.m. Eastern time, if I'm not mistaken. So that's going to be the earliest start that these two teams will play all season long. You almost never see this. So their body clock, you're talking about getting off sluggish. I fully anticipate that happening in this game. And the other thing is that, as you mentioned, Boise State runs the ball. Utah State can't really stop the run. So then you're talking about a game that could end up being very close in the end. I sort of expect a shootout. The thing with Utah State, and everyone, certainly goes back and they remember Jordan Love there at quarterback, but since then things have just gone really sour for them. So they fired their head coach last year. They brought in this coach Blake Anderson, who was Arkansas State's coach, and Arkansas State went to 6 consecutive bowl games. They had 6 seasons in a row over 500. And so this Anderson, who I don't know a ton about, made the jump, but from what I'm reading, everybody loves this guy and loves the coach. They're off to a 3-0 start. The reason why Boise State's such a big favorite is because Utah State's gotten clobbered by Boise State over the last few years. 42-13 last season. They've had almost no success against them. But look, Utah State beat Washington State outright. They beat Air Force outright. Those teams are not better than Boise State, but they should not be a 9-point underdog in this game. I think they have a chance to win. I do. But even if they lose, how are they going to lose? Low scoring, close game, Boise running the ball. This is not going to be Utah State turning the ball over 5 times and Boise winning 51-0. I like a 31-26 type game, and I think that Boise State will have the ball Utah State will have the ball final chance to win at the end of the game. Let's just hope they don't throw a pick and then Boise goes the other way or something like that.
Why would you put that out there?
Oh, sorry.
Come on now.
Utah State +9. They have a good chance to win. Our next underdog, I think, has a very good chance to win outright as well.
All right, and that underdog is Western Kentucky taking on Indiana. Western Kentucky's getting 9 points here. Now, Indiana, they're ranked outside the top 100 in schools. But, here's the thing. Western Kentucky coming off of a bye week here, actually. So they've been sitting there kind of getting healthy, getting themselves ready and prepped for 2 weeks now, facing this game. And Indiana, really not that good of a team.
Don't get this one at all, and I guess just because they're in the Big Ten, they're getting some love here. How are they 9-point favorites against any school, let alone on the road against the team that's #1 in the country in offense and had a week off last week? Yeah, I mean Indiana last 10 games as a favorite. I don't love going back to trends from 5 years ago, but they're 2-8 as a road favorite against the spread. That is just horrible. I mean, I guess Indiana's getting a little credit because they played well so far in their conference, and they played closer in those games, so perhaps that's giving them some extra attention. But I made this line 4 or 5, and I don't even think Western Kentucky is that great. They probably will not be able to stop Indiana. Very high-scoring, insane game probably coming here, where I think Western Kentucky has a chance to win also. So my guess is we are back here next week on Tuesday, and either Utah State or Western Kentucky wins outright. There could be a money line bet here.
Ooh, I'd like that, man. We'll have to talk more about that off the air. See if we can't find something. 4th college game that we're going for here, Oklahoma State. We're actually going to lay 6 points here against Kansas State. Now, listen, interesting matchup here. We've talked K-State here a little bit, but
yeah.
Skylar Thompson, he's out again, right? They do have a backup in Will Howard, who has played before. This happened last year also. Thompson got hurt, so Will Howard did play. So there is some experience here, but talk to me why we're going Oklahoma State -6.
Yeah, this is my least favorite of the 4, to be clear, but something that we talked about last week, and we talk about a lot here on the show, the winning percentage against the spread of teams that are usually, by the way, less than a touchdown favorite, that are at home, that are playing against a ranked team. pretty much cover and win at as high a rate as you can get in college football. And the reason for that is that the home team feels a little disrespected, that they got a ranked team coming in. They know they have to win in order to get back into the top 25. Oklahoma State is on the outside looking in. Their offense isn't great. OSU, by a miracle, their defense has been really good this season, which is not something that you would expect. So I'm just going to kind of go with what works here. And I'm also curious why this line did drop a little bit. I see 5.5 now, so some love on Kansas State. This could be one of those really, really low-scoring games in the Big 12 this week. Like, I don't know if these two teams are going to get to 40. So we're going to need Oklahoma State to win 26 to 13, somewhere along those lines. I think it can happen. Thompson takes away all of the dynamic part of their offense, and what Howard is going to do is just run a really conservative ball control type offense,
right.
Hoping they can get an early lead, maybe force Oklahoma State into a turnover because their offense has not been that good. But look, Mike Gundy at home, in Stillwater has been great, and we're just going to roll with this one here. And look, there's a chance we are using 2 games in a row, 2 weeks in a row of favorites playing against ranked teams that win. And so I'm not going to go against that trend. And we'll take Oklahoma State minus the 6. You can get 5.5 right now, but I strongly recommend the other 3 games in this. This was the 4th out of the 4. I mean, if anybody tells you they can find 10 college games that they love, send them over to me so I can use them in the in the Golden Nugget. Sometimes I can get to 5. I think that there was one more that I was looking at, but let's just stick with these 4 for this week.
Let's stick with these 4. Western Michigan -3, Utah State +9, Western Kentucky +9. Possible win outright upset special on one of those 2.
I really think
Oklahoma State -6. I do like the shout out to Stillwater. The guitar licks on Fever Dog, incendiary. Absolutely incendiary. Let's talk about the pro games that we've.
It's all happening.
It's all happening. All right. Well, we'll shout it out to Penny Lane too, and we'll talk our NFL picks for the Golden Nugget here. Start off here with the Chargers getting 6.5 on the road in Kansas City. I mean, listen, I dig it. Kansas City has not been good covering the spread.
No.
I'm going to have a write-up over at wageralarm.com in the best bets because this is going to be one of my best bets as well. Now, the line at one point, it stayed at 6.5 for the majority of the week. The line did jump to 7.5 today, but only for about 15, 20 minutes. And then all of a sudden, I turned around, I looked, and it was at +7. I would say yes. If you can buy that extra half a point, do it. But I got to tell you, man, with the way Kansas City has been, and I'm talking about not even covering the spread at Arrowhead, I like the Chargers in this one. I think this ends up being a shootout. The over-under is 55. I like for the Chargers to, if they don't win it outright, to keep it super close.
Yeah, and look, you'd be concerned if the total was 48 or 47, because then you would think, wow, the Chiefs could blow them out and the Chargers won't score. I mean, what is this total telling you? It's telling you the Chargers are scoring a minimum of 3 touchdowns in this game, I think. And to me, this is more about the Chargers than it is the Chiefs. You said it best. The Chiefs have been horrible against the spread. I think they're the NFL's worst team over the last 15 covering. That's true, too. But we've learned our lesson through the years. The Chargers are fantastic covering as underdogs, and they're equally horrible as favorites. So when you see the Chargers as a favorite, and naturally what's probably going to happen in this game is they're going to lose 37-34 or something crazy like that. They're going to get a lot of respect. They're going to come back the next week as a favorite, and they're probably going to lose outright because that's what they do. I personally don't think the Chargers are any different from what they were last year. I watched that game against Washington, was not all that impressed. They can tantalize you, they can tease you a little bit and make you think they're really good, and then 6 guys get hurt and they start missing field goals. Until I see anything different, I'm not going to believe it. But you're giving me 6.5 with the Chargers? Yeah, they're going to stay in the game. And by the way, the Chiefs are also phenomenal at going up big and letting teams come back in games. We saw that too last year. So 6.5, let's take it.
Let's take it. All right. Next one we're going with, how about the Denver Broncos, right? They're laying. Now they're laying 10.5 in this one. We're going to talk about this game, obviously, also inside the Westgate Supercontest, where it's actually only a 10-point game, not 10.5. So I like that, obviously, a little bit more. But oh my Lord, Craig, listen to these now. You ready? I wrote them down, right? Because they were that they were. I was like, really? So we're talking about the first 2 weeks, including a home game here. So this is a third week, yes, but it is the first home game for Denver. Denver at home at the beginning of the season here, 51-10-2. Either win outright or cover the spread.
Wow.
That's 21-3. 21-3 of either winning outright or covering the spread as an underdog since 2001 when they built the new stadium. I mean, I don't know if it's the altitude.
It is.
The other team's not prepared properly. Whatever the case may be, Denver in this first game, either winning outright or covering the spread when they are a favorite. So, gimme.
Yeah, I look, I don't love the Broncos at all. I think they've had a really soft schedule. They've made the most of it. There's no question Teddy Bridgewater is better and than Drew Lock, and he's gotten off to a really nice start. I mean, come on. The truth is they have not been able to run the ball, and they've played against crap. I mean, that's just the truth. And they're playing again against crap this week. So there's a couple of really good notes there that you mentioned. And the first is very clear that teams, no matter how much they've prepared in the early part of the season, their wind is not ready to play at altitude. They are just not ready. Now, it is game 3 and not game 2, so the Jets players have had a couple of weeks stamina-wise to get ready, but it's like a boxer. Nothing can really prepare you for the 10th round until you're in the 10th round, and that usually happens in the second half of those games. So I would tell you this. You have a wonderful opportunity sitting in front of you, not just to take Denver, but also whatever the score is in the second half to jump on your favorite betting site and pound the Broncos in the second half, because in all likelihood, the Jets are going to be exhausted. That stuff does flip. It doesn't work for the Broncos over the course of the season, but they are just so good at home at the beginning because teams get winded and they can't handle it. I think it's led to a lot of success that they've had on the field forever since they've been in Denver, but really more so for me at the beginning of the season. Now, Zach Wilson did play at altitude. That is true. He did play at BYU, and so maybe it will or won't affect him. But I mean, that's one player out of 11 on the offense and the entire defense too. So the world is taking the Jets. They think it's too many points, but I'm with you here. I'm totally with you on Denver.
Yeah, I mean, listen, third year Vic Fangio molding this defense. I get it. Bradley Chubb is out. Is that going to be the difference maker? I don't think so. So listen, and I'm a diehard Jets fan. I know this is what's going to happen. Last pick here for the Nugget, another one that we're going to be taking over in the Supercontest as well. Say hello to Monday Night Football, my friends. The Dallas Cowboys, 12-19 at home on Monday Night Football against the spread. I mean, listen, I like the Eagles. I like getting 4 points here. Even if it's a close game and the Eagles lose, if they lose by a field goal, we're still in it. We still cover. So, I like what Jalen Hurts is bringing to the table as far as, being a rushing quarterback. Devonta Smith looks as advertised. They can get Miles Sanders going. This Dallas defense, they invested a lot of picks in it, and I like Micah Parsons in the middle of that field, but I'm sorry, man. Give me the Eagles. Give me the Dogs, the Monday night dog.
Sunday night and Monday night have been really exciting, close games for the most part this season. We did take the Eagles in week 1, and the reason why I like this game so much for week 3 is because we didn't even touch the Eagles last week. So that makes me feel like we are on the right path. In general, you could feel like you really like a team and we could go on or against Philadelphia week 2, but we just didn't do anything. So it makes me confident that we know when to take a team in the right spots. And I agree. I think that this is one of them. Dallas is, again, horrible as a favorite. You're looking at the same two people who took Dallas last week, minus points. Or I'm sorry, we did not take Dallas. I thought
No,
we
we
took.
did not.
I like Dallas. Okay, my bad. Regardless of that, you're not looking at two people who took Dallas last week.
You wanted to take Dallas, but I was like, I don't want to go against the
Yeah.
Chargers here.
Yeah, you said I had to sacrifice an arm to take Dallas. I wanted to keep both. So, yeah, I think this is going to be either our favorite or close to our favorite game this week. I know Philadelphia had a down week last week, but let's also be real. Jalen Reagor stepped out of bounds on a play. There was another controversial play in the game. Philadelphia could have won. They could have covered. There's a chance they win this game. But, I mean, give me no time left. You pick the team with the ball, someone rolling down the field to kick a field goal. And you know what we're going to need? We're going to need that field goal because we do not want overtime. That's what's going to happen in this game on Monday night. So kick that field goal with no time left. Whoever kicker you are, Philadelphia or Zerline. Who is Philly's kicker? I don't know. He's pretty good, right? Philadelphia's kicker is good.
Yeah, it was a Jake Elliott, I think.
He's good, right? Yeah. Okay.
He's fantastic, Craig. I'm all in.
Good shape. Zerline. Oh, left, right. Don't trust that
guy. All right. So now over in the Westgate Supercontest, we pick 5 pro games, no college. That's right there, all set there for the Golden Nugget. You go to wageralarm.com right now. Our ticket is posted for the Nugget. So just so you know that we practice what we preach, I want to make sure of that. Now, in the Supercontest, picks don't have to be submitted until Saturday midday. So, obviously there's a lot of injury report news that we want, but I think we're leaning pretty hard on the games right now. We are taking the Chargers again with the +6.5.
Right.
We're taking the Broncos. It's only a -10, not a minus
like
10.5. Mm-hmm. I like it too. And we are taking the Eagles +4 on Monday night. Now, the 2 games that we didn't take for the other one, we're taking them here. Let's start it off. The Patriots at home. They're laying 3. Now, the spread right now is 2.5 that the Patriots are laying. But here's with the Saints. I think you said this on Tuesday night stream, right? Saints go out and they beat the heck out of the Packers in week 1. Then they come back and they throw up the worst game, and they look like the worst team in the world against the Panthers in week 2. I don't think this team has an identity. I think there's going to be a quarterback controversy coming up in the near future. If the Panthers can turn around and stifle Alvin Kamara the way they did, you think Belichick can't scheme against them like that? I like the Patriots. I hate the Patriots as a fan, but I like the Patriots laying the points here.
Yeah, I think the Saints are going to struggle to score any points in this game. I am not a Saints fan. I don't know what happened there in week 1, but that goes against everything that I've seen with Jameis Winston for 5 years, basically. And look, it's hard sometimes to separate fantasy and reality because Winston in fantasy was great for us. I mean, he was, you pick him up and you don't lose points for picks. And at the end of the year, you were so excited. But you can't survive in the NFL throwing as many touchdowns as you do interceptions. And he just was rattled last week and fumbled a couple times. And the one spot that you want the Saints, and I know they played well against the Packers, but the one spot you want is the Saints against a defense that's not really good. Like, I think they'll be okay, like if they played Tennessee or if they play Minnesota. I think they'll be in good shape. But this is probably if it's not the best defense in the AFC, it's close to it. And you're right. I think Belichick is going to give Winston a really hard time. The receivers are not that good. Callaway has been he's been targeted a lot, but he's been a massive disappointment after what we saw in the preseason. There was a lot of hype on him. They really don't have a tight end like they're normally used to. They've always had some Shockey or a Graham or just someone running over the middle. A Cook, they don't have that anymore either. And I just think the Saints are in for a bad year, and New England only has to win this by 3. Now, make no mistake about it, this game's going to be close in the fourth quarter because New England, in general, look what they had to do to be up 5 touchdowns last week. They had to get like 6 turnovers. So you know that they're going to play it close. But in the end, I think the Saints. I think New England wins by a touchdown in this one, and I think you're right too. I think that after this week, you're going to start hearing, maybe Taysom Hill starts playing. By the way, Taysom Hill also plays in to a close game where you're only having to lay 3 points, right? Because if New England is up, like you can't really bring in Taysom Hill at that point. It's Winston chucking interceptions, so good with that as well. We may have to adjust, by the way, if Hill comes in and takes over at quarterback, and they're getting points in games because he could keep games close, right? So that's a little bit different. So, as we go along, we'll check that out. But I'm fading Winston with no other notice.
Yeah. Also take into consideration that while last week was a home game for the Saints, this is their third straight game on the road. They are not back at home. And I can send thoughts and prayers over to the people in the Big Easy, but your Saints are not home and sleeping in their own beds, and that actually plays a factor. Last game.
By the way, before we get to the last game, another one of the put all your chips on the table bets is when an NFL team plays its third straight road game. I know this is sort of it, but not really. But the amount of covering, amount of fading that you need to be doing when an NFL team is their third straight road, the team never wins. It's like it happens 3 times a year, and you're winning 2 out of 3, like minimum in that. So it's like 66% right there. That's phenomenal. Sorry, go ahead.
It's quite all right. Last game here. Taking the dog. We're going to the Bengals, right? So they're getting 3 here against the Steelers. Steelers at home are supposed to be good. Listen, Big Ben's got a pectoral issue. I know he didn't show up on the injury report on Friday, but we're still going to see the close-ups of him wincing every time he makes a throw. The offensive line isn't very good. Deontay Johnson has already been ruled out for this game. The Bengals lost T. Higgins, but you know what? They got Tyler Boyd there as well. So Tyler Boyd, Jamar Chase there for the Bengals. I not only do I like this one with the Bengals getting 3, but I actually like this as an underdog money line pick here, and I would actually take the Bengals. I think it's plus 145 over at BetMGM, and I would do that. I'm going to lay some action down on that as well. So Bengals become our third pick, getting 3.
Yeah, and line tells you that this game could go either way. It tells you there's no belief in Pittsburgh. The other part of this thing is that you lose Roethlisberger at all in this game, and we're winning that bet. Cincinnati is going to go to Pittsburgh and win if he has to come out of the game. They still have it's Haskins, right? They still have no backup.
Oh, it's still Rudolph.
Is it Rudolph? Wow. Yeah, so they still have no backup quarterback there. The Bengals did not deserve to even be close in the game last week, but I love a game like this where Burrow played his worst game possible, just throwing picks all over the place. You come back the next game, you say, hey, let's slow it down, let's figure it out. You're in a close game, and you have a chance to win. And again, Pittsburgh's just so strange. They looked so good the first week of the season, then they just crashed last week. So that's definitely one for me too. And again, you have to believe the Bengals are going to win and take a +3 here, and that's what we'll do. So those will be the 5 that we got for this week.
Those are the 5. I think if we were to have picked a 6th game, I think we were both kind of leaning towards the Falcons getting Definitely. 3 against the Giants.
Absolutely, yes, that would be the extra one. Yeah.
Was there anything else that you were intrigued? How about the Lions with the 8 points, knowing now that the entire defensive line and a bunch of linebackers for the Ravens all got the COVID, and they're all going to be out.
Has the line moved a lot? I haven't checked that game.
I haven't. The line, I think, here, I'll pull it up right now. The line itself, I think it did move. Geez, why can't I find it? Here we go. Yep. No, hasn't moved at all. Wow.
Yeah.
8.
Yeah, I got 8.
All right,
too.
never mind.
I'll tell you the one game. I'll leave you with this. I'll tell you the one game that I am the most curious about because it makes no sense to me is Miami and Vegas. Why is Vegas only 4 in this game? I don't get it.
That line hasn't moved either.
So that's why I think it's Miami. I think Miami's going to be. I know it makes no sense. It's probably ugly as you know what, but I'm sorry. Vegas, aren't they supposed to destroy Miami this week? Like with Carr and their offense and Brissett starting for Miami? I don't know. I think the Dolphins are going to win. I'm sorry, I do. I think they're going to win. I don't know. Right. It's only the line that's telling me that. If the Raiders are 5.5 or 6, no interest. But 4, that's it.
That's it. All right. We'll keep an eye on that one as well. Again, the Westgate Supercontest ticket will be posted tomorrow after we submit our picks. Golden Nugget one is already up. Best of luck to all of you with your picks. I've got best bets and prop bets coming up on Wager Alarm. That'll be out tomorrow as well. So For Craig Mish, I'm Howard Bender. Big thanks to our producer, Matt Sells. This has been the Wager Alarm live stream, and we'll catch you next time.